Today I'm going to show you a brand new product from Formovie. I was introduced to the company Formovie last year when I purchased their award-winning ultra-short throw triple laser projector, the Formovie Theatre. The Formovie Theatre continues to be one of the best ultra-short throw projectors on the market today in terms of image quality and the features for the price. However, it is still north of $3,000, so you'll need to have a fairly high budget to afford one. Fast forward to now, which is December of 2023, and Formovie have released a brand new product called the Xming Page 1. I haven't actually seen this yet, so let's get it out of its packaging, see what it looks like, and then I'll set it up, fire it at the VividStorm screen here, and we'll have a play and put it through its paces. As you can see, the Xming is far smaller than the Theatre, and that is because it is Formovie's answer to a more cost-effective, less size-intrusive, portable projector. It's even shipped in this little polystyrene carry case. It's actually quite a stylish looking device. It weighs in at about 2 kilograms on the front here, obviously aside from the main lens. You have this little sensor here, which is for the autofocus and keystone correction. And also you have the exhaust for the fan here as well. On the right hand side, you have just the brand name. And on the left hand side, we have the brand Boston Acoustics, which are obviously a very respected brand for audio. On the rear, we have the actual Boston Acoustics Dolby stereo speakers and a intake for the fan. And then we have a 3.5mm jack audio output. We have the HDMI input, a USB input, and the actual power connection itself. Underneath, we have a screw mounting point for either a ceiling mount or a tripod. And then of course we have the feet if you just want to stick it on a table somewhere. And then finally on the top, you have nothing except for a couple of LEDs and a power button. All in all, I think that's designed very, very well indeed. It does look pretty. The remote control that comes with it is very similar to what we get with the Formovie Theatre, and you have Netflix and YouTube shortcut buttons on it. And of course, because it's Google TV, you also have voice control here. And if you have other devices connected to Google Home, you can actually control everything just from the remote control on this projector, which is awesome. So here it is. I've aimed the projector towards the 120-inch VividStorm screen. It isn't actually filling the screen, and the reason for that is that the projector is actually limited to a 100-inch screen. Obviously I can move it further back and fill this, but the focusing is the limitation here. It is slightly out of focus after you move it further back. Anyway, it looks absolutely fantastic at the moment. However, to make sure that we get the best out of this video, I'm going to go and turn off the light over there so that you can get the best possible image. Now, it's worth pointing out that this projector does actually have automatic keystone correction and focusing, and they are actually very, very good indeed. In fact, when I did place this projector on the tripod, it did automatically focus and correctly keystone correct as well. But what I wanted to do was make sure the image was in the top right hand corner of this screen, and to do that I needed to use manual keystone correction, and I'm going to show you that now, because it's very important when you first buy a projector. You do want to make sure that it's got good keystone correction and good focusing. So we go into settings and open the settings at the top, then we move down to projector, keystone, and you go down to manual keystone, and you have 4 points of keystone correction. You can get any corner, and then you can move the screen around as you see fit. Also in this menu you have focusing. That's the projector automatically focusing, but if I wanted to, I could use the remote control to zoom in and zoom out of the lens focusing. And you can hear the actual physical lens motor moving the lens as it's focusing in and out. So one of the main things that makes this projector special is it runs an official version of Google TV, and Google TV is excellent. It's a really nice, easy user interface where you can find all of your Android TV apps Remember, Android is a Google product. Anything that you could possibly want from an app perspective is going to be available through the Google TV store. Now, one of the main things that you have to look for when you're buying a projector like this is the native resolution. The native resolution of the Xming here is a true 1080p. So you're getting full HD, real full HD resolution on this projector, and it does show. It looks very, very sharp indeed. The other thing that you should take into consideration, moving away slightly from the image quality, is the actual performance of the computer inside the projector. And how powerful that computer is determines how good your video is. And this is running at a full 1080p. This is a YouTube video running at full 1080p. There's no lag. It's perfect, running exactly as it should. And that's really important, again, when it comes to this. So that's 2 great marks for the Xming projector so far. So if we head over to Netflix and just chuck on something by David Attenborough, I can show you what this looks like. And the answer is it looks absolutely stunning. So you're getting all of the detail from that 1080p resolution, and then you're getting really vivid, varied contrast and colors in this projector. And once again, you're not getting any lag whatsoever. It's running at its full 1080p resolution, and it just looks fabulous. You see all the details and the colors in all of these images with no blur whatsoever. It looks absolutely great. And you can see in this image the contrast between the dark and the light. So it has a really great contrast ratio as well. So now what I've done is I have moved the Xming to directly in front of me here. It is about 2 meters away from the screen, projecting a 80-inch image. It's just beautiful. It's TV quality, and I really mean that. I mean, this is honestly just an absolutely excellent projector. I'm sure you're thinking, that's all well and good, but what's it like for games? Well, let's check it out and see what it's like. Gaming on this is absolutely fantastic. The reaction time, input lag is very, very minimal, which means it can definitely be used for competitive gaming. I will show you just what that's like right now. So let's test the input lag, and the way that we're going to do this is we're going to fire a gun. We're going to see how long it takes from when I push this button to when it fires. Let's do that now. Yeah, it's very, very little input lag. You can see that I can quite easily. I like to test Far Cry 6 because at night you get some proper darkness going on, and that's where the contrast really comes to play on these projectors. Here we go, so there's no other lighting here, and you can still see absolutely everything that's going on. Let's have a quick look at the menus and what settings you can change. So built into Google TV, if you go into the settings, you get this sort of sidebar, and there's some basic stuff that you can go into, such as the screensaver. This is how you get into the HDMI in, just by going to inputs. Sound gives you some basic stuff, like you can switch the speakers on and off, and you can add a delay to the speaker as well, just to get it correct. And there's some Dolby audio stuff here as well to get the best possible sound out of the system as well, if you want to use that. Under picture you get all the modes that you would expect. At the moment I've got it on game mode because that has the lowest possible latency, but there's various other modes that you can put in, and it gives the image a very different view. If we go down to advanced settings, then you can play with things like the color temperature, and there's other things down here that you can choose to activate or not should you want to. And then at the very, very, very bottom you have 11-point white balance correction, and this is going to give you that ultimate color correction control if that is what you're looking for. Aside from that, you have some Wi-Fi settings and some basic accessibility settings as well. The rest of the options are up here in the settings cog, and this is where you get to choose more options. One of the nice things about the HDMI input is it does actually allow CEC control of devices, which is awesome, and you have all of those controls here. Under Projector is where you're going to find your Keystone and Focusing options, which I showed you at the beginning of the video, and then you've got projection type. So if you want to ceiling mount your Xming projector, you can, and you can select ceiling mount here. All of the rest of this are just your standard Android options, including the system settings and your Bluetooth setting. Now, you probably heard the audio coming out of the Boston Acoustic speakers on this projector, but they do actually sound pretty good. And if you're just playing some games or watching a quick movie, watching TV, it's fantastic. But obviously there is this 3.5mm audio out jack, which I could connect to my Pioneer amplifier if I wanted to use the speakers in this room. That would be very, very simple. And it does also have Bluetooth capabilities. But again, the Boston Acoustic speakers built into the Xming are decent, and it is pretty much enough for usage like this. Now, staying on the subject of audio, one of the really important things when it comes to talking about projectors is the sound that the actual fan makes. LED bulbs get really, really hot and they need active cooling, which means you have to have a heat sink and a fan to keep that bulb cool. Question is, how loud is it? Well, I'm standing in front of it now. I don't know if you can hear the fan. It is definitely audible, but the actual sound coming from the speakers completely drowns out the sound of the fan itself. And this is going to be the case when you're playing games or if you're watching movies. You simply aren't going to hear the sound of the fan, even if you're right on top of the projector, and that is lovely. If it's silent, if everything is silent, yes, you can hear the fan, but it's not really, really bad. So it all comes down to this. Are you wasting your money if you buy Formovie's Xming Page 1? No, I don't believe it. You are, because you can get an up to 100-inch, pristine, sharp, contrast full, vivid image. And I really mean that. It is a fantastic image, as you can see on here. Excellent for gaming, great reaction times, and you have lots and lots of customizability for the image to get it the way that you want it. So no, I don't believe it is a waste of money. I believe it is actually one of the better projectors that you can get for this price. And that's pretty much it for the Xming Page 1. If I've missed anything, just ask in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer you as soon as possible. I've got loads of other gadgets to show you very, very soon. So please do subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content.